I just want to say thank you for stopping by and checking out my podcast. And I really appreciate your feedback. It really means something to me. So, wherever you're at, whoever you really are, I just want to say to you, thank you very much. And I appreciate it. I hope you continue to listen to the podcast, and I hope I can give you some good information. Thanks again. Have a good day.
Introducing the Open Palm Podcast, hosted by Jerome Shaw. Available today on your favorite podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor.fm, and many more. The Open Palm Podcast, where the host engages his listeners with inspirational messages, motivating themes, and thought-provoking ideas. Topics include: make more mistakes, how much is your value, don't get right, get going, learning to let go, excellence is a habit, and more. Binge listen today. Subscribe today. It's getting excellent ratings. That's the Open Palm Podcast, hosted by Jerome Shaw. You can also find it on YouTube. Make sure you share it with your social networks and connect on Twitter and Instagram at Jerome Shaw. That's the Open Palm Podcast with Jerome Shaw. Available today on your favorite podcasting platforms. Go listen, download, and subscribe now.
What is your escape? And what are you escaping? Do you have a form of escape? Something that you do, whether or not you realize it, that allows you to escape? We can escape in different forms. We can escape using different things, different means, and we use them for different reasons. But we have similar results, similar consequences, similar changes in our life due to the escapes. I was listening to an episode that really touched me by Ron Carter. On his podcast, you'll have to go and follow him at Ecom Billionaires. Shout out to Ron Carter. And his podcast episode was speaking of why he got started and just remembering the state that he was in before he started his online business, before he started online ventures to create income in areas that he felt connected to, in areas that he wanted to do instead of someone else's, working on his dream instead of falling into someone else's dream or becoming someone else's plan. He speaks of escape, and specifically how, I don't think it's within my rights to share his story. I'll let you follow him and hear it. But in his story, he talks about there were things that he would do in life that were for his own peace of mind. And I myself have shared this experience where I have had many forms of escape for my own peace of mind. In the moment, to escape work, to escape relations, to escape just having to look at my everyday life, I would dive into video games. I would dive into movies. I would dive into just all sorts of forms of escape. And it was only a moment, a fleeting moment. But my lust for technology, for relations, for different things, they were only a temporary escape. And I love how Ron Carter puts it, that at first it was for peace of mind, but eventually, once he became addicted to these various forms of escape, he ended up craving an escape from his own escape. He wanted to get away from the escape itself, to have a life apart from the life that he had designed and created to escape the life he lived originally. And I felt like this was so deep, because he said that as it became an addiction, the peace of mind that it created in the moment, the fleeting moment, was surpassed by the pain that it started to form in his life. I know in my life, the regret, the pain, things that were happening, the moments that I was losing with the people who were close to me, the people I loved, due to me chasing this escape, it started to overlap the peace of mind that was generated and created from me going into the escape in the first place. And as I continued to jack in to this matrix world, this virtual world, because my escape took the form of video games and all sorts of things that just weren't even of this reality. They were just constructs, things that were created to entertain me for the moment. As I continued to explore these vast regions of my mind inside, transported into this virtual world, I didn't even realize it, that I was being thrown down the rabbit hole, wanting to claw my way out, with the feeling that it was too late. And so there comes a time when the pain gets so great that it overrides the peace, and you start craving an escape from the own escape that you created. So deep to me. It really touched me listening to that episode. And I want to urge you to think about the things that you do on a daily basis. Think about the things that you have done in your life and really strive to differentiate them. Were they mere hobbies? Were they just animalistic pursuits? Were they just cravings? Were they just neutral? What were they to you? And really analyze them. Take a look inside yourself and ask yourself those probing questions to get those answers. Was it just an escape? Was it something you were doing for the time to escape the time that you were in? Was it something you were doing for the moment to escape the moments that continued to pass you by? The moments that you were in but wanted to get away from? And if it was an escape, did you ever or have you ever reached a point in your life where the pain of spending all your time escaping was more than the momentary peace that you received during this escape? And then ask yourself what it would take to pull yourself from this thing and seek a more passionate and purposeful life. One that you do not desire to leave, that you do not desire to escape from, but one that can rescue you. Thank you for listening. This has been Jerome Shaw on TOP, that is the Open Palm Podcast, here in Columbia, South Carolina, my hometown. The Open Palm means harmony with the world, understanding our place in the world, using our skills accordingly, greeting the world with an open palm instead of a closed fist. My friend, I pray that you received a special message from this today, encouraging you to evaluate the things that you entertain and the things that entertain you on a daily basis. Be it your cell phone, social media, the constant scrolling, the infinity scroll. I talked to one of my friends about this. Seeking a return, or are we seeking an escape? To evaluate those things in your life and see what you can do to slowly start to replace them, or slowly start to find new things that bring more value into your life and bring more authentic and really real peace of mind, instead of the long-term pain that the short-term escapes gain us. Share this message with a like-minded individual who is learning and growing, becoming their greatest version. I don't think messages like this are heard often enough. So pay it forward today, if you please. And people have asked how they can support the podcast. You can most definitely become a supporter by opening your browser to Anchor. patreon.com/jshaw. And supporting the podcast there is much appreciated. And you can also become a patron on patreon.com/Jerome Shaw, where you'll find exclusive content I do not post anywhere else. Thank you for listening, my friend. I really do appreciate you. And as always, have a blessed day or night, wherever you are. Take care. Hey there. Are you a podcaster yourself, listening to my podcast? Well, first off, I just want to thank you for taking the time to stop by and caring enough to hear the messages that I continue to put out here on a daily basis. But I also want to let you know, if you are a podcaster, that I have something for you. I have created a service for you that I haven't really publicized yet on my podcast before now, but it is something that is special to podcasters. You may have noticed on a lot of my recent episodes, there will be a voice memo in the beginning from someone thanking me for leaving them a thoughtful and thorough review, or just really rating and reviewing their podcast. So click the link in the show notes of the description for this episode for more details. Thank you for being you. Continue to be awesome and have a wonderful day.